The sacral, or the sacral, if you want to be fancy. Today we're talking about sacral authority. Sacral authority is only exclusive to generators and manifesting generators. You have sacral authority automatically if you are a generator or MG with an undefined emotional center or solar plexus. Okay. You can only have one of the two authorities for generator MG. So this is exclusive to you. Now, when you have an undefined emotional center, I've noticed with a lot of generators that have sacral authority, it's very hard for you all to always tap into your energy or your excitement. You always get confused, like my anxiety's taken over, or like I can't tell or I can't discern what is my excitement versus anxiety versus this, that, and the third. And it was a little bit off center by a kilocentimeter. And therefore, there's a lot of deconditioning that needs to happen if you have an undefined emotional center, because the emotional center, Ross says that the ego and the emotional centers are like the two main centers that can be the most conditioned and have the most influence over our lives. And therefore, because the emotional center is so potent, there is a lot of conditioning that happens over all your life, right? And so with an undefined emotional center, you absorb other people's pain, feelings, anger, their emotional waves. And so there has to be a whole bunch of alone time in order to tap into your sacral and to really understand and feel your sacral authority. And for many of you, you've learned to go against your excitement because of your feelings or because of other people's feelings. So because majority, or I think it's, was it like 50% of people in the world, 50, 60, most people have emotional authority in the world. And so if you have sacral authority, you are conditioned by the emotional beings, the ones who have the emotional center. You take in other people's emotions and you amplify them, which means that you are conditioned to make decisions based on an emotional wave, and you're not supposed to. You're supposed to make decisions based on your own gut feelings, your own excitements, not based on emotions, okay? Emotions and excitement are really actually different. Think about it this way. If we turn into astrology terms, think of Aries and Cancer, right? These two signs are square to each other. That means that they are at a 90-degree angle and they don't agree with each other. They have common goals, but they have different directions of how to get there. So Aries is about assertion, passion, dominance, doing. Cancer is about being and feeling and warmth and all these emotions and things like that. Aries is about like, I don't care about the feelings. Let's just go forward with this. Who cares? We'll figure it out when we get there. Cancer is like, well, we need to feel our way through. Okay. So you are Aries in this scenario. Cancer is those with emotional authority. Aries, you just need to focus on, despite if you have Aries in your chart or not, it was just a metaphor. But if you're thinking about Aries energy, it should be, you feel that drive, you feel that passion. Don't get your feelings all caught up in it. Okay. If you feel it, you're really excited about it, that full body, yes, I'm going to do this, I want to do this, go towards it. When the feelings start to take over and the anxieties and the worries and the all this and that and the third, that's when you run into trouble and you're not going in your authority. You're letting the conditioning of the emotional center take over your decision-making process there. So that's how that works. And because you have an undefined emotional center, you cannot fully ever trust your emotions, and they will override your sacral responses, because wherever you have an undefined center, and I keep using the emotional center as reference because I know for a fact this is where a lot of the confusion happens, because it's really hard to discern. When you have an undefined center in your chart, there is no consistency there. There's a lot of extremes. Okay. Defined centers in your chart are where you have consistencies. There's not going to be major drops of low, high, low, high. It'll be, little bumps, but it'll be pretty much consistent all the time. But in undefined and your emotional center, there's going to be a lot of extremes of high, low emotions that will override your sacral. But you can't trust those to make decisions. You can't trust your feelings. You have to simply trust your body. The feelings and the words are made up in the mind, but the body is where all of the answers come from. And I know that's really hard to wrap your mind around because it's not something you can just think your way through. It's something that you really have to listen closely to your body's responses and understand over time. And so a lot of you with sacral authority are conditioned to trust your feelings, listen to your feelings instead of your excitement. So it's this may not fully click for some. For some it might. For some of you it might. For some it won't fully click yet. But give it some time and understanding, and like start practicing with your body. And you can start practicing with these exercises that I tell you, so you'll be able to more so feel it. It's not something you could just think about and you're like, oh, I get it all the time. But when you're actually doing it, you can write it down or you can think about it. So did I write? Oh yeah, I did write that. Okay. So kind of going backwards now, what is a sacral? Sacral in the human design body graph chart is responsible for our life force energy. Defined sacral is only for generators and MG. Anytime I say generators, I'm always including MG, so I don't have to say both. Generators. It's responsible for the life force, consistent, sustainable energy that we have. It's our magnetism. It's what draws people to us. It's what we breathe life into situations like fixed signs. We sustain energy. So we're sustaining out energy in our projects, in our relationships. Our excitement is what keeps things moving. It's what keeps people motivated, what keeps the world going round and round, which is why it's so important for us to be doing things that we're excited about, around people that excite us, all that, because that is where things are sustained. When we're not excited, when we're frustrated, when we're pushing and we're not really feeling it, we're not bringing in the right opportunities. People are not moved by us. It just caused for a lot of problems. And sacral is also responsible for your gut responses. Now, if you have sacral authority, your truth is in the now, in the moment, opposite of emotional authority. For emotional authority, no truth in the now. For sacral authority, similar to splenic, your truth is in the now. All the energy, everything you need to know is happening right now. When you ask yourself a question, when somebody else asks you a question, you will receive your answer right then and there, in full. It's just a matter of trusting your body and not letting your mind talk you out of it and things like that. So it works in the present and it's your most trustworthy guide for decisions. And your energy becomes unlocked when you are excited. All right. So how do we kind of tap into this sacral energy? It's very important for if you have sacral authority, and just generator in general, gut health. Gut health. You want to make sure that you have a strong and healthy gut so you can fully feel your sacral responses, all right? Because there's a direct correlation. So a healthy gut means quicker responses, more accuracy. And so that can look like you just eating the right foods, taking your probiotics, drinking more water, aloe, whatever it is, making sure you're just very conscious of what you are fueling your body with, because when something is off with your gut, you'll know, and maybe your intuition or the way you make decisions will be skewed, and you have to step back and ask yourself, what have I been eating? What have I been drinking? And then look to where your sacral is connected to. If you have a defined sacral, it's connected to something. It could be connected to the root, could be connected to the G center, could be connected to spleen, could be connected to the throat. Like, where is it connected to? And that will tell you about, like, look at that channel how to also unlock that energy for your sacral, or where you're going to feel those sacral responses. So if it's connected to your throat, you may feel it in your throat. If it's connected to your spleen, you may feel it in your side, root, your back, things like that, your heart, wherever. So gut health, that's important. Next thing is grounding and meditation. If you have sacral authority, it's very, very, very important that you do grounding meditation work. Do things where you can be alone by yourself, right? And this goes back to having that undefined emotional center. You have a lot of emotions stored up in your body from other people that you absorb all day long. And if you have other undefined centers, you're absorbing from other people as well. Their moods, their personalities, their habits, their traits, their worries, their thoughts, their pain. And that is a lot. So it's best for you not to make decisions around other people, especially emotional people, like people that are going through a lot of things or whatever. If they have a defined emotional center, wait until you're alone if you can help it. And so you need to release, spend time by yourself. When you're by yourself is where you can really feel the most accuracy about decision making. And when you decide things when you're alone versus when you're with other people, you may feel a difference in that, right? But yeah, spend time by yourself. Grounding meditation works really, really well for those with sacral authority, so you can feel in your body. If you're asking yourself questions while you meditate, you can feel what your body is saying to you. That's how you get the most accurate response. Next way is through movement, especially if you're a manifesting generator. You have a lot of extra energy built up in your body. So you want to be doing exercise, walking, something that's going to really exert that energy for you. If you're not doing grounding, doing more extra mental, physical activities. The more open centers you have, the more energy you have to expel that is not yours. And so just stay active as much as you possibly can. Living a very active, healthy, upbeat lifestyle is really good for you. And these are things that you're going to have to implement in your everyday life. It's not something that you just do one time and you're like, okay, I'm good for the next 6 years. No, this has to be now integrated into your life. Next, tips for your sacral authority and how to feel it more. Ask in the moment questions. So, you can practice this with a friend or by yourself. First, ask yourself a series of yes questions and feel how your body feels. Ask yourself a series of yes questions that you know the answer to, like, is my name? Yes, you feel that. 1 + 1 is 2. Yes, stuff like that. Things that you know the answer to and you can say yes or no responses, because your sacral responds to yes or no questions. So when you have somebody ask you, don't have them ask you open-ended questions. Have them ask you yes or no questions, and listen to the way your body feels when it's a yes versus a no. You will feel the difference. It's just a matter of being conscious and bringing this into your awareness now, because if you weren't aware of it before, you may have felt it on a subconscious level, but you weren't really paying attention. Now that you have this awareness, you can honor your body, your mind, and listen to those responses, all right? Now, the next thing, and this is the biggest thing for sacral authority, the most important part, in my opinion, is to learn to make decisions with a black or white mentality, okay? You are conditioned to make decisions based on emotional people with emotional authority, based on this wave, this gray area. For you, there is no gray area. There cannot be a gray area. And that's going to take some time to learn how to decondition. For sacral authority, it has to literally be a black or white, all or nothing, a yes or no. It can't be, well, maybe, kind of, I want to do it a little bit. And so this is where you have to become a lot more selective with what you're saying yes or no to, because there are going to be a lot of maybes or a lot of or a lot of I don't really know scenarios, people, situations, opportunities, and you saying yes to those, and you're wondering why you're ending up frustrated, why you're ending up not with the results you want, not satisfied, not feeling excited, because you're saying these, like, it's like people may be like, oh, you're so picky, or whatever. Well, that's the only way that you're going to really get those full feelings of satisfaction, if you're doing things that really, really, really excite you and pushing away the things that are either mediocre or don't excite you at all. And so for that reason, that means you do have to be a lot more patient, because especially for manifesting generator, because if you're just saying yes, 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 yes to these things that are mediocre or not really what you want, you'll feel frustrated, but that means that it may take a little bit longer for you to actually get those full body yeses that you're looking for, and that full feeling of excitement. And so it's kind of like quality over quantity. And I tell this to projectors all the time. It's not how many invites you get, it's the quality of the invites you do get. And same for you with sacral authority. It's not how many things you have to respond to, it's how exciting they are, how quality they are of what you're feeling when you say yes to it, the satisfaction. So a lot of deconditioning needs to happen there, where you feel like you need to say yes, or there's something to prove by saying yes, just because you have all these things to respond to. And the more you do that, the more you'll get more mediocre things. So you don't want to, do that. Next is do not procrastinate. Learn to act faster before the excitement is gone. Learn to be more spontaneous. Again, you're conditioned by these emotional beings to wait and to think and to, you can act a lot faster than those with emotional authority. You can know what you want in that moment. You really want that, you go for it. You don't have to sit there and think and wait and think and wait if you feel that full body excitement. Okay. So I see sacral authority procrastinate a lot. You guys procrastinate a lot, and you're like wondering, when is something going to come for I can respond to? Likely it's already came and left, because you were sitting there thinking about it for too long. And, you got an opportunity, you're waiting for something, you got the call, the opportunity, something, and then you just, you didn't take it, or you let that fear talk you out of it. So you have to learn to be more spontaneous, sacral authority. Decondition that needing to think things through when you know what you want to do. Next things is compare options and wait for the big yes. So I already kind of talked about that. The big yes, wait for those big feelings of excitement. And make sure you're comparing and contrasting. And if you have multiple options and there is something you do need to choose, go with whatever one is most exciting to you. All right, always. And then the last thing is to focus on your feelings without words. Your mind tells you what we should do. And I don't know what I wrote here. But focus on what you want to do, not what you feel like you should do. Oh, I should call this person back. I should go to that thing. I should. If you don't have to, it's not a requirement of you, then don't do it. If you're an MG, especially let somebody know that you're not going to do it, though. Or, if it'll affect somebody, tell them. But otherwise, if you don't owe anybody anything, you don't have to do anything, don't do it. All right. And so, your mind tries to talk to you about all these different things about the future or whatever. Ask yourself in the present tense, do I want to do this right now? Don't ask yourself, do I want to do this in the future? No, just right now. Your body will tell you everything you need to know about right now. And, when the future gets here, that can change. You ask yourself again. It's moment to moment. You have to try to get out of trying to predict your body's future, if that makes sense. So working on being very, very present with sacral authority is key. Staying grounded, releasing extra emotions and feelings built up in your body, because your feelings, most of your feelings, majority are not yours, and they are meant to move through you. They are meant to be like a screen, not a sponge. Okay, so that is sacral authority in a nutshell, and that is the next one for part 2, episode 2, and we're going to keep it moving. I don't know which one is next, maybe splenic. So thank you guys for watching. If this resonated with you, let me know. Ask questions, comments down below. I am at Tarot by Bronx on everything.